The content of this program is to provide nutritional education only. This program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. The FDA requires us to let you know that our products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any diseases. As an empowered individual, you have options available. We are honored to have one of the founding fathers of Epigenetics here to guide us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. The content of this program is to provide nutritional education only. This program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. The FDA requires us to let you know that our products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any diseases. As an empowered individual, you have options available. We are honored to have one of the founding fathers of Epigenetics here to guide us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. The content of this program is to provide nutritional education only. This program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. The FDA requires us to let you know that our products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any diseases. As an empowered individual, you have options available. We are honored to have one of the founding fathers of Epigenetics here to guide us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. Buddy, welcome to Daily with Doc. So excited to have you all here with us. I love seeing new faces and familiar faces and names as well. I encourage you, if you are watching us on one of our live streams, come on in. Come on in. Go to dailywithdoczoom.com. That's all together, dailywithdoczoom.com. And join us here on our live Daily with Doc Zoom. Now, somewhere we have, okay, I think we got it. Awesome. My name is Becca Dukes, and as the hostess of Daily with Doc, I welcome you. If you found this program on your own, then we are here for you. If not, get back with the person that shared this program with you because they cared enough to do so. We have this program sponsored by dailywithdoc.com, where we provide a store, we provide all the replays, we even provide a 15-minute consultation. If you are not working with a consultant or a distributor already, if you are, get back with them and let them know that you are interested in getting a consult, because it's very possible that a certified holistic health coach is the one who brought you to this program so that you also can receive empowering information on what you can do all on your own. Now, if you're on live with us and you would like to ask a question, make sure that you find that raise hand option in the Zoom menu, and we will be calling on you in the order in which your hand was raised. Also, make sure that you have the chat turned on, because, oh, hi. With the chat, then you will be able to follow along with our co-hosts who are putting information into that chat that kind of just gives like a summary of some of the things that are being spoken about. It also spells things out for you so that you'll have an easier time finding them or asking about them whenever you do speak with an associate. Now, Dr. Wallach is just a gem. He's a national treasure who has a national treasure in the Smithsonian Museum. Now, this national treasure is packed full with information through autopsies and comparisons on nutrition and how it affects a living being. Dr. Wallach, in this book that's like more than 1,000 pages.
Yeah, 5,000.
5,000?
Yeah, it represents over 20,000 autopsies.
So over 20,000 autopsies that are represented in this national treasure, and that is exotic animals. Tell me the full...
Diseases of exotic animals.
Thank you very much. Diseases of exotic animals, which I'm really excited, Dr. Wallach, because you have somebody that is taking those different chapters and making them available to the public.
Yeah, they're the raw notes. They're not actually just repeating the chapter. They're taking the raw notes and republishing them. And it's really a great thing. The first one, of course, is primates. And that's where I made my very first plastic discovery, where I found the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis at the Yerkes Primate Center when I was working with NASA as a pathologist. And and I didn't tell them the slides I was sending around were from a monkey. These are slides of the tissue biopsies, okay, at the autopsy. And I sent them to 5 medical schools, and I said, I think these tissue slides are from a cystic fibrosis patient. What do you think? And all these medical schools came back on their letterheads and said, this is a classic example of cystic fibrosis. And I sent back in the letter to them. I mean, we're talking 1976. So I sent back a letter to them saying, okay, great. This is the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis. And I believe we have, can create a laboratory animal set up here with these animals are related, okay, and we'll have the animals.
The control groups?
Well, there'll be actually animals we can do studies on, study animals that will have the disease. And I didn't tell them I didn't think it was genetic. So I asked permission to do biopsies on the other 24 baby monkeys in that colony, about the same age. They all had different mothers and fathers. They were not related other than they were monkeys. And they're all getting groomed to go to space. And so they allowed me to do biopsies of them, and they all had cystic fibrosis. And that was it for me. I said, okay. So I did my due diligence, and I went back and talked to the people who were feeding the mothers and fathers and cleaning up the cages and buying the food for them and everything. It turns out the two people who were feeding them every day were PhD biologists, and they believed very heavily in genetics. And they were really upset by this, because every one of those baby monkeys, every one of the 24 baby monkeys had cystic fibrosis. Okay, so I said, "What are you feeding them?" Well, the fathers were picking on the mothers, and so what we did was we took away their monkey pellets, which had all the vitamins and minerals in it, and we just gave them bananas and berries and apples and things like that, so that they're busy eating as opposed to picking on each other. And so that's why we had all those babies with cystic fibrosis. And so I got it ready for publication and presenting at a big national event for the National Institutes of Health. And they fired me. They said, "Wallach, you must be drinking snuff or something like that. There's something wrong with you. This is a classic example of a genetic disease, and you're saying it's not genetic." Well, I know why it happened. It's in my paper. No, you're done. They fired me. And that's when I started going to all these trade shows and looking for someplace. And I didn't know much about naturopathic medicine, but I did find they were looking for a professor at NCNM, which is a naturopathic college of naturopathic medicine up in Portland, Oregon. So I took that job to teach. And I said, why don't I go to become a naturopathic doctor? And so I started taking courses. And in 1982, I became a naturopathic doctor as well. So I have my degree in my BS degree in agriculture, in soils and that sort of stuff. And then also I have my degree in veterinary medicine, and now I was going to have my degree in naturopathic medicine. And so that's kind of exciting.
That's very exciting, but I want to back up just a little bit, Dr. Wallach. Okay, so the males were picking on the females.
Yes.
So they took away their pellets and just gave them fruits and vegetables, or just fruits. So they were basically
fruits and berries.
Fruits and berries. So they were basically nutritionally starved. So they were busy and occupied eating and eating instead of picking on each other.
That's correct. And the behaviorists were happy. See, we told you they're not picking on each other now.
Well, hey, if somebody's bored or they're starved and they just eat, that doesn't give them time to do anything else, right?
Well, and of course, the berries and the fruit didn't have all the nutrients in there that were necessary to prevent cystic fibrosis. And so I did a lot of studies on that, and looked at articles been written over the years, and came to a conclusion. I thought I knew what it was, and sure enough, I was correct. And so that started me on that track.
Well, starting on that track, Dr. Wallach, has also been documented in another book. Share with us a little bit about this book right here.
Oh,
The
okay.
Wallach Revolution.
Well, that's the latest book, and it's a 75-year track record of my findings and research and so forth, and some of the more, what should I say, breakthrough findings. And it's one of those things where it goes back to when I first discovered the fact that we needed nutrition. I was 9 years old, and they were going to send me to an experimental hospital for people who were violent. And I was very violent. I was only 9 years old, very strong, because I'm throwing bales of hay on the farm. And I'm sitting on the bed on a Friday night, and my parents are packing my clothes because they're going to put me in the hospital on Monday. And I said, "Well, when am I going to get out of the hospital?" They said, "Well, you may never get out. You may be in this hospital for the rest of your life." Well, didn't make me happy. So the next morning on Saturday, I realized that there was something going on here that even the doctors didn't know what was going on, because I had seen 20 different doctors in 5 years. I'm only 9 years old. I'd seen psychiatrists, I had seen pediatricians, I'd seen pediatric psychiatrists, and not one of the 20 doctors could figure out what was going on. They didn't have a name for it back then. Today it's called Tourette's syndrome. Okay. And so on Saturday morning, they're starting to fix breakfast in the house. And so I took my cereals, my Wheaties, my breakfast of champions. I took my oatmeal out to the chickens, and I went to the barn. I got the alfalfa pellets that were supplemented with vitamins and minerals that we feed the calves, took them back to the house, put them in my cereal bowl, put milk on them, had them for my cereal on Saturday morning, Sunday morning, Monday morning, and by 2:30 in the afternoon on Monday afternoon, I'm cured. After 5 years of spiraling downhill. So I knew there was something really crazy there. And that got me going on the path that I'm still going on. And so at any rate, to make a long story short, I've done, gosh, I don't even know how many papers I've written now. It's hundreds and hundreds of papers and hundreds of CDs and books and DVDs and things. And autopsies is 32,000. Mostly, I'd say 75% were animals, 450 different species, and the rest were humans. And the whole idea was to determine where we went wrong in creating these diseases, because none of them were genetic, none of them were autoimmune. And my great attorney, Jonathan Nemord, and I, we sued the FDA in federal court on that one subject 8 times. We prevailed every time. And that was to get vitamins and minerals into baby formulas because of the cystic fibrosis. And then I also got rid of cystic fibrosis, got rid of muscular dystrophy. That's a long story. That'll be another day. I got rid of muscular dystrophy, and Jerry Lewis was happy about that. And the Muscular Dystrophy Association fired Jerry Lewis and shut off his telethon, even though he'd raised $2.6 billion for them over 46 years. Because I don't know if they really wanted to find a cure, but we found the cure, and they fired him for saying we found the cure and the treatment and prevention. And then, let's see here. After that, I started again by doing more teaching and starting a practice. In 1982, became an naturopathic doctor and started seeing people, and got into radio and TV and stuff like that, because I wasn't seeing but just a half a dozen to dozen patients a day in my practice in Portland, Oregon. And so I realized I had a lot of information, and I needed to see more people to get that information out there. And to make a long story short, this book goes through much of my major findings, and we had a lot of, what should I say, support and help from famous people like Pat Boone. He, great the singer and entertainer and movie star, and he wrote the foreword to the book. I mean, it's really a great foreword. He tells the story of him and how I helped him and how I helped, let's see here, the guy who was the mayor of Atlanta, Georgia. Andy Young, yeah. And also he was the guy who represented the United States as an ambassador to the United Nations. And he was going to have a double knee replacement, and I rebuilt his knee so he didn't have to do that. So that story's in there. And then in the end of the book, the stories, there's more stories like that from Danny Glover, a great movie star and comedian. Okay. And so he had his stories, his own personal stories, plus stories of other people who he'd helped with my information, because he was excited about it. And so then to make the book affordable for everybody, because this was going to be a 3,000 page book, it was going to be something crazy. There's 20 chapters in there, I believe. And then we put a summary of each chapter at the end with the books that have the salient information on major discoveries in that chapter, the books and the CDs and DVDs, and the references. So as opposed to, like the Encyclopedia Britannica, where you buy this dozens of books and everything. You get thousands of pages and they have all these thousands of references. You have that stuff, but it's in such a way that if you want to just order one of the reference books or 2 or 3 of the CDs or something like that, you can do it. Okay, so it's not going to be outrageously expensive for the average person. And so I'm very excited about this book. It's slowly sort of gaining some traction because the format is quite different. And in the back, when I talk about all these various other books that are already published and have great references and so forth and pictures, there's a picture of the cover of those books and a little, like a paragraph on what each book covers and so forth. It's a little bit of a different reference than just the author's name and the name and title of the book.
Yeah, as I was looking through this, Dr. Wallach, I mean, it goes chapter 10, and then the interview with Dr. Joel Wallach, January 10th, 2015 in Clinton, Maryland. I mean, it's pretty little bit more than what, a biography normally would show. That's for sure. So, yeah, and that's just one example. All the different books that are referenced that you've written, others have written, that supports what you have done and what you are saying, including
pages after pages after pages look like this with those references.
Oh, hey, I know what those pages are. That took a lot of time.
Yeah.
So what Dr. Wallach is pointing out, in the back of the Wallach Revolution, there is our informational brochure from D.R.J. Wallach. It has all of, except for the ones that are being released, next month, has all of the videos, the DVDs, the audios, the books that Dr. Wallach and Dr. Milan have published, plus some of their friends who have also published some books. And it also includes the introduction of our bundles. So for those of you who have been listening to Dr. Wallach in the past, or even in the future now, and he talks about the quartet of books or the quintet of books. And for those of you who are involved in our health coach certification course, we even have a health coach bundle that is going to be available that will allow you to get the books that are recommended in the Institute of Holistic Health's health coach certification course as a bundle with a discount. So folks, if you're interested in more about that health coach certification course, go to Coach with Becca. That will take you to my site that gives information on that program. If you're working with somebody, get back with them and ask them if they know anything about it, because we want to make sure that the person that shared this program with you gets the credit for that as well. Well, Dr. Wallach, I have something that I need to read really quick. And as soon as I get here, all right, it says the content of this program is to provide nutritional education only. The program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. The FDA requires us to let you know that our products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any diseases. As an empowered individual, you do have options available, and we are honored to have one of the founding fathers of the science of epigenetics here to guide us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health. Dr. Joel Wallach. Dr. Wallach, you were just holding up Epigenetics.
Yes.
That is one of my favorite books.
Well, it's a summary of my autopsies on that $25 million grant that got me the diseases of exotic animals and all my work in the Smithsonian Institute. And so that book, Epigenetics, sells for $25 each, I think, something like that, give or take a little bit. But everybody can afford that. Whereas the disease of exotic animals, new in the box, still in wrappers, never been opened, they sell for $25,000 each. Okay. W.V. Saunders was the original publisher, biggest publishing house in the world. They were the original publishers, and they sold the rights to another company. And that book now, you go to Siri and ask if there's any used copies available, and they have them, where they've been writing in the margins and the corners of the pages are dog-eared and everything like that. And on the average, you can find them any day at like $3,500 to $5,000 each. But if they're really beat up, you can get them for $1,500 or something like that. The dog peed on them.
Oh, you didn't have to go there. So I'm going to go to a happier note, Dr. Wallach, and we are officially today Daily with Doc on YouTube, and we have many people watching, and we have people that are commenting on YouTube also. And that happier thought that I'm going to, it says, greetings from beautiful BC, Canada, you two magnificent beings. That was so sweet. Thank you, Dawn. And then John says, I always enjoy the information that you both provide and take and utilize most of the longevity products, and am a very healthy 72-year-old. Thank you both and Ben for sharing your knowledge. So that is pharmacist Ben that John is referring to. So I love that. And Heather says, this is awesome. It's nice to see Daily with Doc on YouTube. So I think it is too, Dr. Wallach.
Well, thank you. I know it took some effort to get all that done, so we appreciate all that effort. And the main thing is getting that information out there to more and more people. And that's the whole goal of the whole thing, is to save as many as we can.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And Brenda puts in the comments here live with us. She says, I am reading that book and halfway done, referring to epigenetics. So thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Well, Dr. Wallach, we have many questions. And folks, if you're on live with us, don't forget to raise your hand if you have a question that you would like to ask of Dr. Wallach. The first question that I'm going to go to, though, is from Nicole. So Nicole has a client that she is working with, Dr. Wallach, and this gentleman is 69 years old, 178 at 6 foot tall. He's struggling with military PTSD, Dr. Wallach, which my heart goes out to all those that are in the military and have seen so much that many of us will never have to because of you. Thank you for your service to everyone that's on here and watching and listening. In addition to the PTSD, Dr. Wallach, he has blood pressure concerns. He is on a medication for blood pressure. And he's wanting some information that will help him with the depression that comes with the PTSD, the anxiety that comes with the PTSD, and of course, blood pressure. Yes, he does still have his gallbladder. He only wakes up maybe once during the night to go to the restroom.
Okay.
And that's what I've got.
Okay, well, thank you. That's good. Appreciate that. All right. So he needs to get rid of all the bad stuff. This is kind of the hardest stuff for people to do. Get rid of the bad stuff. Fried foods, processed meats, like bacon and ham and hot dogs and bologna and salami and pastrami and pepperoni, because they have nitrates in them, which are really, really dangerous things. That was actually the basis of my first scientific publication. When 500 sheep died in one night, okay, because they've been drinking nitrates in their drinking water for 6 months, the temperature dropped down to 16 and they all died of hypothermia because their thyroids weren't working. And that I got that published. It was my first scientific publication, okay? And it was in a veterinary journal, very proud of that. And Marlon Perkins used that with Barry Commoner from the Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri. When I was in Africa working on that white rhino conservation project, they used that paper on that mass die-off of those 500 sheep in one night to get that grant. That's how we got that grant, was that paper. Okay, so I'm very proud of that. Okay, so none of the processed meats, no oils, no cooking oils, no salad dressings, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, rye, and oats, And then, of course, because they all have gluten in them, no wheat, no butter, brown oats, and no buckwheat, because they have phagopyrines, F-A-G-O-pyrines in them, worse than gluten. And then they destroy your intestines, so you cannot absorb efficiently. And then you need to give up sugar, no sugar. That's a bad one. And sugar's in everything you buy in the market, because people know people like sweet stuff, and so they put sugar in everything they sell. And so you really got to watch it. Okay, no sugar, no carbonation. That includes no soft drinks that are free of caffeine and sugar. Okay, and also no carbonated waters. Okay, because they neutralize stomach acid, so you cannot absorb minerals or digest food. Then at 178 pounds, I want them to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. The full dose, everything twice a day. Then I want them to have, let's see here, 2 bottles a month of our MSM. So you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. They're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone, makes bone itself. I want them also to get the collagen peptides. That's collagen, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue from fish, poultry, sheep, and beef. Scuba that with his morning drink, scuba with his evening drink. I want them also to have, because of the high blood pressure, I want them to have 2 bottles a month of our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. They'll support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries in the brain and the heart and the kidneys. But be sure, okay, don't, if he's on high blood pressure medication, don't cold turkey off the medication. But as the blood pressure begins to drop, you can slowly reduce the medication based on the numbers. Then for the PTSD, I want them to take the Synaptive. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And the Synaptive were designed to let the brain cells talk to each other. Okay, so they're quite clear what they're saying to each other. I also want them to eat 3 eggs twice a day. I do that. 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks, either soft scrambled butter or just soft poached, soft boiled, not hard boiled, not fried. Okay. And then I also want them to have the I-26. I want them to have 3 a day at lunchtime, not in the morning and the evening when he's getting the eggs, but at lunchtime. And this is a very unique product, the I-26. It's meant to make the brain work better and deal with all these things going on in the brain. Okay. And the interesting thing to me about the I-26, on our label, we put something that nobody else in the world has done. It says in there on the label of our I-26, this dose, these 3 chewable tablets, we have the swallow tablets, we have the chewable tablets, actually provide 25% of your daily requirement of cholesterol. And people go, what? My doctor says cholesterol is a killer. Well, doctors made a terrible mistake over 100 years ago when they said cholesterol was the cause of plaque in your arteries and plugged arteries. No, it's fried foods and oils and stuff like that cause of the plaque and the plugging of the arteries, not cholesterol. Cholesterol makes up 25% of your brain weight, 25% of your spinal cord weight, and needs those eggs, needs that Synaptive, needs that I-26, and all this other stuff we just talked about. What else would you throw in there? What else would you throw in there?
Well, Dr. Wallach, for the PTSD, we have a product called Soul. And Soul is a drink mix that just helps to lift the mood, which I absolutely love. So I'll, if I'm having a down day, I'll just throw in some Soul. I've recommended for many, many people.
How do you spell it?
And they are very thankful.
How do you spell that?
SOUL. It's a drink mix. So this is Smart, which is one of my favorites. I don't have a Soul on my desk, but you just open it up, put it in 16 ounces of water, and enjoy. It tastes good, gives that instant feeling, that boost. For those that are needing some more mental clarity, the Smart is really good for that as well. And you can mix them together. So that's what I would add.
Okay, well, there you go. That's the program. Okay, for this guy. And we should have some feedback every couple of weeks. Give us a call. And, it's a toll-free number. So it just takes a little bit of their time. And people want to hear what's going on with this guy, because this is not an unusual thing.
No, it's not. And Dr. Wallach, so if he had been getting up 2 to 3 times a night, what would you recommend? Because I know that there are some doctors that will say, well, just no salt, and that'll help fix that.
Well, they should have their licenses taken away if they say stuff like that, because salt has 2 essential nutrients. But the book, it's on your head. There's a book and a CD, which, yeah, there you go, which you and Dr. Milan and myself have contributed to. And on page Roman numeral 6 in the front of the book, there's a picture of 2 skulls. It's one of my favorite pictures. The tops of the skulls have been removed. You're looking down on the brain. And the top picture has a normal brain and normal skull. And you see the skull is only 1/4 of an inch thick. The bottom one, you're looking down on the brain, and you see that the skull is 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick. And you can understand how that would be squeezing the 12 pairs of cranial nerves and the spinal cord as they come out of the tunnels at the back of the skull for the spinal cord and the side of the skull when it's for these 12 pairs of cranial nerves. There's 37 different diseases that people get when they have osteoporosis of the skull, including anxiety and all that kind of stuff. And so that's one of those things where between the diet, getting rid of the bad stuff, taking the good stuff, remember, 25% of your brain weight, the myelin, the white matter of the brain, is cholesterol. You need those eggs. You need the I-26, okay? And it doesn't hurt to eat red meat with fat in it. And it's one of those things where you got to stay away from the bad stuff. And this, my book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods, 300 pages of recipes, okay, of good cooking and good recipes. And so this book has saved so many lives, okay, because when you cook badly and you choose food badly, that contributes to more problems. And so this book will actually help you recover extremely quickly. If you do not follow what's in this book, you may not recover.
Well, and it goes back to the garbage in, garbage out, Dr. Wallach.
Yep.
If you're going to put garbage in, you can't expect to have a healthy body. And I
Well,
wanted to also talk a little bit about, you had mentioned the I-26 and helping with the brain. There is a connection between the gut and the brain. When you've got toxins going on and imbalance going on in your gut, it creates havoc in the brain. And that's one thing that I love about the I-26 is it supports a healthy digestive system, Dr. Wallach. So anything you want to add to that?
nope.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and go to the next question, Dr. Wallach. And I have so many questions that have been emailed in. And folks, if you're on live with us and would like to ask a question, we encourage you to do so. Marilyn, go ahead and unmute. Come on live with me, my dear.
Okay, I got that unmute down this time. I just want to say I have a small little testimonial from a friend of mine. He was locked down with COVID, and he's a workaholic as far as he works out in the gym at least 3 times a week. And he looks great, fantastic athlete. And he started taking the longevity product, the Human Growth Complex. And he said within 2 days, he got strength on every single body movement when he was exercising. He said he noticed it right away, and he orders it now like every month. And Dr. Wallach, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, it supplies the pineal gland with nutrients. And then the pineal gland then releases melatonin, more melatonin as a result. And then the melatonin will release more human growth hormone. Is that correct?
Yes, and it's pineal. It's like pie, like
Oh, pineal. Okay.
pineal.
Okay. And so he's thriving. He thinks it's great. But one thing is you have to take it at night because it makes you sleepy, because it increases your melatonin. So take it before bedtime.
Well, thanks for sharing.
Sure.
Yes, thank you, Marilyn. And for those of you who do not know, she was referring to the product that's called H.G.H. Youth Complex. Now, this is not human growth hormone. but it's the nutrients that support the body's own ability to make that human growth hormone. Amazing product. Thank you so much, Marilyn. And Ruth Ellen has a question. Ruth Ellen, go ahead and unmute and come on live with us.
I believe Heather is actually going to ask these same questions, so I'm going to let her do it.
Okay, we have some questions coming in on Facebook. And the first one is, it's actually from the same person. The first one is 78-year-old, 5'7", 110 pounds, has COPD and many strokes, up to pee at night several times, on oxygen to help him breathe. That's all the information we have on that one.
Okay, I have COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Okay, gets up multiple times a night to urinate. Did I miss something?
Many strokes.
Oh, mini strokes. Okay. Okay, well, strokes are caused by blood clots, okay, in the brain. And so 78 years old, 110 pounds, this guy needs to get rid of all the bad foods. Dr. Wallach's cooking without the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks, even the diet ones, and the carbonated water needs to go. And then at 110 pounds, you go with one healthy brain and heart pack per month, take a half a dose of everything at breakfast, half a dose of everything at dinner time. He needs one bottle of MSM, so he can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. That's going to help support and promote maintenance, repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc, between vertebrae, bone, bone itself, including the skull. If he's getting up multiple times at night to urinate, you may want to get a hold of that book. It's all in your head, and the CD that goes along with it. It's a set that Dr. Milan and Rebecca and I, the 3 of us, contributed to that set. And want to, because there's 37 different diseases you can get when you have osteoporosis of the skull. Okay, and then let's see here, the COPD. Again, it could be related to the osteoporosis of the skull, or it could be a separate disease. Okay, and the mini strokes or deficiencies of the omega-3 essential fatty acids, which will be in the healthy brain and heart pack. But I would get another bottle of EFAs, another bottle of EFA pluses, so I can take 3 of each twice a day. Okay, because one bottle of each comes with one of the healthy brain and heart pack, but I wanted to double on that since he's had several mini strokes. He needs more of the EFAs and EFA pluses, 3 twice a day of each one. And then as the skull is repaired, takes the pressure off that spinal cord. When the spinal cord has pressure from the skull, it tells the urinary bladder to urinate. This happens in women. So we know it's not a prostate gland thing, because this happens in women, and women do not have prostate glands. Well, there you go. And so let us know how this goes, because, you know, this is very common. We do have Oxybody. If you want to take a little oxygen supplement, you can take the Oxybody. But the EFAs will also help with that, because it also helps with asthma and bronchitis and those kinds of things. But this could also be something due to the osteoporosis of the skull. So back to you, Becca.
Thank you, Doc. I'm sorry, Beck, I'm cutting in on you. I got one more real quick. This one is they have vasculitis, and they are 60 years old, 5'6", 120 pounds. Do you have any suggestions on what they should take? And there's no other additional information given.
So we don't know if it's male, female.
No.
Okay, but they have blood clots.
I've just got vasculitis.
Oh, yeah, vasculitis. Okay. Well, again, you got to get rid of the bad stuff. 120 pounds, none of the bad things. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go, and the carbonated water needs to go. Then 120 pounds, I want them to have 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month, a half a dose of everything twice a day. 2 canisters of the collagen peptides, so you can take a scoop of that in the morning, drink, scoop of the evening drink. 1 bottle a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 of those twice a day. And then the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 2 bottles a month, so they can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. They're going to support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries and reduce the risk of blood clots, along with, it wouldn't hurt to get another bottle of EFAs and EFA plus, so they can take 3 of those twice a day also. Okay. And so let's go there, and that's, they need to contact us every couple of weeks and let us know what's going on or what's not going on.
Well, thank you, Doc. Thank you, Becca. And I have to say, all the social media sites look amazing. And I'm so glad that we're sharing it with everybody and getting it out to just the masses, because it's what's needed.
Thank you.
Yes, it is. Absolutely, Heather. And thank you so much for your help with that also, as one of my co-hosts. It takes a team to build this, Dr. Wallach, as you know, which is why you started Longevity as a direct sales company, because you knew that products just sitting on a shelf were not going to sell.
Yeah, I knew we had to build an army. And of course, being in the military for so many years, retiring as lieutenant colonel in the Air Force, I knew about building an army. I knew what you needed to do. You can't fight a fight with one person. You need an army, and you need various branches of the army, because there's all kinds of things going on. So just one weapon won't work. One piece of information won't work. You need all kinds of people. You need all kinds of information. You need all kinds of tools. In this case, the tools include the supplements and diets and all that kind of stuff. And so the direct marketing thing, I actually went to Michigan, okay, to one of the biggest network marketing companies in the world, and spent a couple of weeks there learning how they ran their business, and actually became one of their distributors, and learned how to get information out to the average person. So the average person with no college education could take the information and be as effective as a triple PhD with a medical degree, okay, and helping people with their health. And that was my goal.
Well, I think that you've been very successful at that goal, Dr. Wallach, and we are continuing it for over 27 years now.
It's 32 years.
Strong. 32 years. That's fantastic. I love it. I love it. Well, I just want to remind everybody that this program is sponsored by Ask Doc. No, Daily with Doc. I have too many websites going on in my head, Dr. Wallach. Daily with Doc. You can go to dailywithdoc.com and you'll find a contact us. If you have any questions and you would like to ask Dr. Wallach a question, get with the person that shared this program with you first. And if there's no one to thank, use that contact us option on the website and make sure that you request your free 15-minute consultation. You'll also find on that program, on that website, the store with all the products that Dr. Wallach is recommending, and also the replays from our past programming. So I love the fact, Dr. Wallach, we can take and put all of these resources in one spot so people can quickly and easily find. It's fantastic, and be a resource to the community as well. So I have Annie, and Annie has a question. It's in regards to her cat. He's 16 to 17 years old. He's had a pretty good long life. He's 10 pounds, has lymphoma, Dr. Wallach. In 2019, went through chemo, which she thinks affects his kidneys. And they think that he has chronic kidney disease now. Recent diagnosed with hyperthyroidism, and seems to sleep a lot, like sleep near the heater in the sun, seems weak. Recent blood work shows thyroid of a 5.7, normal is 4.7 or less. And then she pushed some others. He has lost some weight, and the creatine came down as well. So, I mean, this cat has a lot of things that are commonly known in humans. Is there a link?
Well, basically, any vertebrate mammal can get the same diseases, okay? And so it's not unusual to have cats and dogs and raccoons and rats and rabbits and stuff like that to get human or human-like diseases. Okay, so it's not unusual. So at 16 years old, 10 pounds, this cat needs a good brand of commercial cat food. I prefer the canned cat food because it has the vitamins and minerals in it. And okay, based on body weight, and so you need to get that. I like the Ralston Purine ones myself. And then I also want this cat to have Arthrodex. It's a scoop of Arthrodex per 20 pounds of body weight. But because this cat has all these problems, I would give a half a scoop in the morning and a half a scoop at night of the Arthrodex. The base is liver, and so the cats and dogs love it, okay? Also, because it has kidney problems, I would take our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets and give that cat a half of one of those tablets a day, okay? Grind it up in a powder and mix it in with the Arthrodex, and that's going to help with kidney function. Okay, the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, a half of one a day, grind it up and put it in the Arthrodex, which is kind of like peanut butter kind of thing. Okay.
Well, you got to add a little bit of water in there to make it more pasty like peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're adding it to a wet cat food.
Yeah, the canned cat food, I like that. And of course, the thyroid, I would also, in the drinking water, it wouldn't hurt in a little dish of drinking water, put maybe a teaspoon of our liquid plant minerals in like an 8-ounce glass of water in that drinking bowl where the cats can drink the water, get those minerals. And it also wouldn't hurt for that cat to, in addition to that, let's see here, I would let's just go with that. Oh, I'll go with the Ocean's Gold.
Ocean's Gold to support the thyroid.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And go ahead and grind those up and put that in with the Arthrodex also, just a half of a tablet of Ocean's Gold.
So here's a really good question for you, Dr. Wallach, because our Arthrodex is amazing, but it's not available in all countries. So what would be kind of a substitute for Arthrodex? I know it includes the minerals, it includes amino acids, enzymes. I mean, there's so much packed into that.
Well, the only thing that you could take that would come close to being a substitute would be the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack.
So the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack that includes all the 90 essential nutrients, your essential fatty acids, and the Ultimate Selenium, which has all those 5 cofactors, which is the biggest hammer in the box.
That's correct.
So if you were to pick one thing, anybody, it would be the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack. It is a collection of 5 different products, but it comes in a pack. And then
it has 215 nutrients in it.
Yes. So Dr. Wallach, when we're taking that whole pack is for somebody 100 pounds, up to like 145 pounds. For a cat at 10 pounds or even a small child, how would you just like do 1/10 of that dose and give it to them?
Yes.
And then for like the selenium, where a regular dose would be 3 per day, or the EFAs 3 per day, would you just give them 1 then?
Yeah, one tablet
per day. Okay, that's pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
I think that we try to complicate things more than they have to be complicated.
Well, I think what makes it simple is we've got a lot of different nutrients in there. It's not like, okay, we have selenium capsules, we have calcium capsules, we have capsules for collagen, we have capsules for this and capsules for that, and all these different things. There's 60 different minerals. We have a capsule for each mineral, like zinc and magnesium and stuff like. No. We put in such a manner that even a 6-year-old will take it, okay? Because we do have it for kids' toddy, okay? So forth. And we have Rebound or sports drinks, which has 100 nutrients in it. We tried to make it so we're not just selling vitamin A. We're not just selling vitamin C. People say, oh yeah, I supplement every day. Yeah, what do you take? Well, I take vitamin C. What about the other 89 nutrients? Oh, my doctor said I can get all that from my food. You need to change doctors quickly.
Well, Dr. Wallach, I had been taking many different nutrients, many of them that are in the longevity products, but they were not in a form that my body was able to absorb, nor did I have those cofactors that the body needed in order to effectively and efficiently absorb them so that they work together. I was fractionating nutrition and it didn't work for me.
And fractional nutrition will not work for anybody. And this is where doctors make a huge mistake. And of course, it all happened at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, on Pearl Street in New York City, on the bluff overlooking the construction of the Brooklyn Bridge. And it's all documented in this book, okay?
Hell's Kitchen.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. Hell's Kitchen. Because Hell's Kitchen tells a story on converting from wood ashes and coal ashes, which we had used for fertilizer in our gardens and spice in our foods. And we're getting those minerals from the coal ashes and the wood ashes for 3,000 years. And then overnight, when they came out with electricity, suddenly now we didn't have the wood ashes anymore. And doctors are still saying, oh, just eat well, you get everything you need. No, we had lost our source of minerals, and minerals make up 2/3 of the 90 essential nutrients. So doctors have missed it very badly, is because they don't get any nutritional training in medical school. Their nutritional training is one sentence: eat well, you get everything you need. That's it.
Well, we are here to help educate Dr. Wallach, and Ruth Ellen has a question for you. So Ruth Ellen, go ahead with your question really quick before I can't believe the time is already up.
I know, it went fast. Okay, so I have a question on Facebook from Margaret Dannenberg. My sister has been diagnosed with spinal stenosis in her neck. She weighs 144 pounds. She is 5'7" and has limited funds and just started taking our MSM Ultra. What do you recommend?
Okay, well, she'll save a lot of money by getting rid of all the bad foods. Bad foods are expensive. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And then she needs to get a hold of that book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods, so she knows what to eat. And then I also want her at 144 pounds, you say, I want her to have one healthy brain and heart pack per month, and that's too expensive for her. She can have one of our healthy start pack. Okay, half a dose of breakfast, half a dose of dinner time. And let's see here. Because she has a spinal stenosis, she's already taken the MSM. I would also throw in the, let's see here. I would also throw in the collagen peptides. Okay, and that'll help rebuild the skull, take the pressure off the spinal cord.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. And I know that you have to get on to your next program. So I would like to add my co-hosts on here. And thank you so much, Dr. Wallach, for
thank you, everybody.
being with us each and every day, Monday through Friday. That is absolutely fantastic that you are able to take time to be here for us. And folks, again, my name is Becca Dukes, and as the co-host, or as the hostess of this program, my co-hosts and I are here to help. Get back to the person that shared this program with you. And if there's nobody, please, please, please don't forget to check out dailywithdoc.com, where you'll find all of the replays for our programming, the contact us for your free 15-minute consultation, and also the store. But get with the person that shared this program with you because they cared enough to do so. Until next time, bye for now.